Hello, everyone, and welcome to another special edition of Lytle Media Live. I'm your host, Mike Smith. Our interview today brought to you by Kingston National Bank. We're going to be talking with Bud Lytle, a retired Chillicothe police officer, and also Courtland Hastings, a firefighter with Union Township. And we're talking about the upcoming Heroes 9/11 event here in Ross County. All that's coming up after this from Kingston National Bank.
Wherever you are there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank mobility app today.
We're back on our special edition of Lytle Media Live. Bud Lytle on the outside, Courtland Hastings in the middle. I'm Mike Smith. And Bud, we had you on our radio Game of the Week broadcast at halftime last Friday night talking a little bit about this, but we can get into a little bit more details. Bud was trying to juggle duties as a PA announcer in the press box, and I stole him away for a couple of minutes to talk about the Heroes 9/11 event. This, of course, is on September 11th. It's something that started several years ago, and then during COVID, it kind of got put on hold.
Yeah, so the fellows at Brad and Rob at First American Insurance came to me. I don't know, it's been several years ago, and they had approached me with the idea of, hey, let's do a Heroes event for 9/11, recognizing and honoring the service of our local heroes, and obviously in remembrance for the individuals that lost their life on 9/11. In those tragic incidents. So, when they came to me, I thought, man, that's a great idea. It's a great opportunity for our community to come together, do an event where we can all get together and kind of add a cool element to it with kind of a touch of truck for the kids. They can see all the equipment we have and all that stuff. So we ran it for several years, and COVID came. Yeah. And kind of put a nix in it, as it did many things in our lives. It changed our lives a lot, and so we stopped it. And Courtland got a hold of me a couple months ago and said, "Hey, you know what? We all enjoy doing that. All the volunteer fire departments, and there isn't so many volunteers anymore. A lot of them are paid now, but all the township fire departments and." We'd really like to do that again. So I said, well, let's start putting it together. And Courtland's been the man this year, and I'm kind of turning the reins over to him and just kind of in the background helping him out a little bit with it. So we're excited to get it back up and running again. I think it was a great community event. It was very well attended, and I look forward again this year.
This is for all of first responders, people that, just like it says, are the first one on the scenes of accidents, crashes, fires, all the unfortunate things in life, it seems like, that can happen. You people are out there first, and Courtland, as a firefighter, I know you've seen some things that not only have put your life in jeopardy, but some things that maybe have led to loss of life in the people that you're responding to.
Yes.
And talk about what that impact is on you people who are those first responders.
Some of us people, first responders, it's hard to see things day by day. Mm-hmm. Law enforcement also, and you don't know what you're going to get into when you walk through that door at the law enforcement right. or at a fire station. Mm-hmm. And like I was talking to Bud, I was wondering, let's bring this back. Mm-hmm. And I got with Lowe's last year in October and talked to them, and it took about 6 months to get this going, but we got it going, and hopefully we get good turnout this year.
How many years have you been a firefighter?
I've been a firefighter almost 6 years.
Mm-hmm. And what led you to want to be a firefighter?
My grandfather, Dan Newberry, was a fire chief at Saya Township for 20-some years, mm-hmm. and also assistant chief at the VA Medical Center. Mm-hmm. And he took me to the firehouse every single time when he was at Saya Township. Right. And that's why I'd be a firefighter.
A lot of the work that goes into being a first responder, whether it's law enforcement or firefighting or an EMT, there's a lot of training that the average person has no idea that you have to go through. What is some of that?
Training is very hard. It takes about 6 months to get through class, and then hire process through fire department. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of tests.
I know we had a story, I think it's been 2 months ago. The state came out with some help in trying to find people who are interested in being firefighters and so forth.
Yes.
Because there's so many communities that are short right now.
Yes, there's a lot of departments here in Ross County are very short with volunteers, and it's hard to get volunteers, especially during the day.
Yeah.
Especially when a structure fire goes out and you're about 20, 30 minutes away from another department, and it's hard to get across town or another department en route to you.
Now, are you full-time firefighter or are you volunteering?
Volunteer firefighter with Union Township.
Okay, and so you're working another job.
Yes.
So if you get a call, are you on duty while you're working sometimes?
Depends on what the call is. I can leave, go to help. And mostly the time at Union Township, we always have people on station. We always have a full staffing there.
Which means if you do have to go out, you have to have an employer that's very understanding.
Yes.
And a community-minded person. Hey, I know you got to go.
Yes.
But when we were talking about this Heroes event starting several years ago, now it's coming back, people might remember that there was a parade involved. Is that back?
Absolutely. So the parade is going to start at about 5:45. We're going to leave from the Ross County Service Center, 475 Western Avenue, and the parade's going to go down Western Avenue, down Main Street, and then up Bridge Street to Lowe's, the Lowe's parking lot, and then pull in the Lowe's parking lot. So anyone that wants to come out and line the streets would certainly encourage that. It's really neat to see as you drive down through that parade. And see the number of people that are supporting you. We always had people waving American flags and all that stuff. It was always really neat. So that's a cool part of the event. It's an opportunity. Courtland talked about it. It's difficult to get volunteer firefighters. It's difficult to get some of those people. So it's an opportunity to engage some of the younger people, younger generation, and let them see kind of what the equipment is and have conversations with individuals. And I remember when Courtland was a kid. He was a kid when we started this, okay? I'm an old man now, Mike.
I didn't want to say anything.
But he was a kid when we started this, and I remember seeing Courtland walking around talking and looking at all the fire trucks and all that. I remember those days. And so it's really cool today to work with him in this partnership, him being an adult now, him being a volunteer firefighter, so it does provide recruitment opportunities for some of those townships that struggle. Most townships now have full-time firefighters, but they supplement. There's not enough money, enough dollars in the kitty to pay them all the time. So you always need those volunteers. You always need those people that are willing to jump in. And I think this is a big part of that. It's a recruitment opportunity. It's an opportunity for kids to see have one-on-one conversations with firefighters, with police officers, with our first responders, and an opportunity to walk up and just say thank you. Thank you for the service that you provide. And I know in my 24 years in law enforcement career, that was some of the coolest things, is when you had people walk up and just thank you for what you did. And, it feels good. It's heartwarming. And it's an opportunity, again, for our community to come together and be a part of something. I sit this morning and I was thinking about this, and not to talk too much, but when I think about the loss of lives on 9/11, I think about what happened, and I wrote, 343 firefighters lost their life. You had a total of 60 law enforcement officers between Port Authority and Newark police officers that lost their lives. Almost 3,000 civilians lost their lives as a part of 9/11. But then you go bigger than that, and you look on the world landscape of that, and the war on terrorism that started as a result of that, and 900,000 people almost have lost their lives as a result of that. So you look at the impact that 9/11 had on the world, and it changed America, it changed our world. And I think we all still realize that, but 23 years later, it lessens, the effect lessens as it goes on. And I want people to remember that there are first responders, not only on 9/11/2001, but there's first responders on September 5th, 2024 that's still willing to give their lives and do those things. And now as I sit back and I'm retired and I'm out of that world, I count it as a privilege to have the opportunity to honor some of these guys that are still out there every day willing to give their lives for our community and for other people. And that's the part of it that is so neat to me. That's the part of it that really I embrace is the fact that these people are still out there doing it and they're still willing to give their lives. And in a world where there's so much hatred sometimes and there's so much division, it's an opportunity for us to come together. This is an opportunity for us as a community to come together and share that love for each other and that support for our first responders that are still out there every day doing the job.
For anyone that didn't realize it, I think 9/11, the actual event, for those of us who were old enough to remember it, it brought to mind that while victims are fleeing from danger, first responders are literally running into danger.
They're running into the buildings.
Yeah.
There's so many pictures of first responders running into those 2 World Trade Center buildings. And the courage that it takes. And it's a reminder of what our law enforcement, our firefighters, our EMTs do every day. That's what they do every day. They, if an event would happen here in Chillicothe, when everyone else is running away, they're going to be the ones running into that. And it's a reminder of that. It's a reminder of what they give in their life, especially as a volunteer. I look at volunteer firefighters like Courtland. Mm-hmm. He leaves his job sometimes. You brought that out so well, and I appreciate that because those people, they take time away from their families, and they don't get paid for it. They just do it because they love their communities and they want to help someone.
I know, Courtland, when we're talking about the impact of some of these things, unfortunately, as we're doing this program live, it's a day after there was another shooting at a school.
Yes.
And some of the commentators that were reporting on it, many of them were law enforcement that I was hearing, and they were talking about the impact of the first responders who are there and see the carnage. That's something it's hard to unsee.
Yes.
How do you deal with that?
If you go through like a rough situation with that or an accident, there's people out there counseling, chaplains. There's a crisis center has started here in Ross County for first responders. And Eric Cochran started this thing for first responders.
Yeah.
So it will actually, you call this person, they reach out to this crisis center and get the ball rolling.
Great. Bud, going back to the event, you mentioned the parade. You alluded to the touch a truck. Those types of, aside from the parade, the opportunity for the kids, the parents to talk to our first responders, all of that will be done out in the Lowe's parking lot, correct?
All of that's going to be at the Lowe's parking lot starting at 6 p.m. We'll open with an invocation and national anthem. Retired police officer Tim Ryder is going to be singing the national anthem for us this year, so that's really cool.
And he can sing.
And he can sing. If you've never heard Tim before, it's worth showing up and listening to him. But I know he's sang the national anthem at Cincinnati Reds games before. I know he does it for the Paints a lot, or has in the past. And so what an honor to have Tim come sing for us. But then the commissioners, I believe the commissioner's office is going to speak. The George Lavender, the Ross County Sheriff, is going to speak. Ron Myers, the Chillicothe Police Chief, is going to speak. Larry Kuckler, who's the Chief of the Huntington Township Fire Department, is going to speak. I believe Aaron Knotts, who's the Chillicothe Fire Department, he's going to speak. So we got individuals that's in administrative roles now that I grew, now here again, my age, okay, we're going to go with that. But
And he was a kid, Bud was a kid, and I remember doing his games, yeah.
Yeah, you announced some of my games, right?
Yeah.
So not telling our age, Mike, but those individuals are now in administrative roles, and it's neat to have them speak to our first responders in our community about some of the things we're talking about here today. So, we always try to give the opportunity for those individuals to come up and address the crowd and thank them for coming out and support and those things. So it's going to be a full evening of activities. We're looking forward to have some food, some free food, and free food. Everyone wants that, right?
Oh, yes.
Mike lit up right there.
If
I will
it's
tell
free,
you,
it's me.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's just again, opportunity for us to come together. That's the
ice cream also.
There'll be ice cream there. Yeah, Courtland just told me that this morning. There'll be ice cream there, man.
Says that's why I'm showing up.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's there's going to be a lot of activities, a lot of speakers, a lot of things going on, and we just again, it's about coming together as a community more than anything. And I know, as a first responder myself for so many years, it was always neat, and I keep going back to that, but it was always neat to come together, see a community come together. And regardless of the purpose, it was see a community come together and the kids running around having a good time, and the parents, trying to wrangle their kids in because they're running around wanting to see everything, right? And we close the night every year with Light It Up. And we call it Light It Up, and I don't know a more appropriate name for it, but every emergency vehicle there will turn on their lights and sirens. And we're going to do it this year for 23 seconds in remembrance of the 23rd anniversary of 9/11. So we're going to do it for 23 seconds. They'll turn their lights on, and that's an opportunity, lights and sirens. And again, that's an opportunity to honor those individuals that lost their lives and continue in the fight on the war on terrorism.
Yeah. Again, the Ross County Heroes 9/11 event on September 11th starts with a parade through downtown Chillicothe at 5:45, and then they'll be gathering out at the Lowe's parking lot on North Bridge Street at about 6 o'clock, and that'll go for probably an hour or so.
It'll be about 2 hours. We'll be there 6 to 8. The first hour is basically going to be the speakers, things like that, and then after that, it'll be all the touch a truck and walking around. But you can walk around during the entire event. We'll have a PA system set up so everyone will be able to hear just fine, and play some music. And the one of the coolest things we've always done at this event is we always did a couple line dances, and the first responders will come out and do some of the line dances with some of the kids and things. And so that's always a neat part of the event too. So you want to be there for that. That'll probably happen right around 7:15. We'll do that, and we'll play 3 or 4 songs, and they'll get out there and kind of dance and get a chance to show who they are to the community a little bit personally. So
yes.
It's just a neat event, Mike. Honestly, if you've never been to one, make your way out. Make your way out and come out and help support your community coming together. But more than that, come out and have a good time. That's the main thing.
Our producer, Aaron Glenn, and he likes line dancing, so maybe we can get his cowboy boots on him and get him out there.
Yeah, get Aaron out there with some cowboy boots on, and
we'll see how it goes. Yeah,
we'll see how it goes. But again, I think the parade is a neat part of it, starting at 5:45, and Courtland, I want to give a couple kudos as I can, Mike. Number one, Courtland this year has taken the bull by the horns and ran with us, and I appreciate that, and appreciate the fact that he wants to bring this event back to Chillicothe. Lowe's. Such a great supporter of community events. I mean, being a veteran myself, and the veteran discounts and the veteran parking and all that they offer, they're always very supportive of our community, and we're certainly appreciative of Lowe's and them coming on board to help us out. I mean, obviously Kroger usually helps us out, and I know they are always on board with it. JC's has always helped us out do this event. First American Insurance has always been a big part of it. I mean, all of those entities, it takes a village, right, to do something like this. One person don't do this, and so I certainly worthy of a shout out to those individuals to want to do something good for our community. So many times there's so many bad things going on, and I keep saying that, but so much division and so much hatred and all that in this world. It's an awesome opportunity for us to come together.
Again, our special edition brought to you by Kingston National Bank. Our guests have been a military veteran, also retired Chillicothe police officer Bud Lytle, and Union Township firefighter Courtland Hastings. Our guests today talking about the Ross County Heroes 9/11 event coming up on September 11th here in Chillicothe. I'm Mike Smith.